What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick. Can we get some new random drop exotics? Kackis here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel, and let me know what you think my next intro should be. That comment section is absolutely wild. Alright, today we are going to be reviewing all of the Season of the Lost weapons and ranking them from the worst to the best. These drop randomly from things like Astral Alignment and the Shattered Realm, or you can target farm them via Umbral engrams. So going over their PvP and PvE god rolls is very important information. And so let's start here with the worst of the worst, and that is unfortunately gotta go to the, oh my goodness, the pronunciations, CHRYSURA MELO, I think, Legendary Energy Auto Rifle. So this belongs to the high impact frame 360 rounds per minute archetype. The range is great, but the stability is trash, and everything else is pretty average for this archetype. And what's holding it back, why it's at the bottom of the list, is really its archetype, because the perks and the rolls are actually pretty darn good. I've got the combo of Outlaw plus Dragonfly. That's really fun in base PvE content, especially if you're using a Dragonfly spec like I'm using. But instead of Dragonfly, you can get multi-kill clip, which is fantastic with Outlaw for a damage boost. You can get Harmony as well. Frenzy's great too. And instead of Outlaw, you can get 4th times the charm or dynamic sway reduction or heating up to improve the accuracy for PvP. However, with all of that, even still, this archetype struggles in PvP and PvE because it's just in kind of a weird spot. Like I said, the range is great, the actual stat is great, but because the stability is so low, it doesn't matter if your drop-off is a little bit further than other auto rifle archetypes. If you're bouncing around so much that you can't hit anything, what's the point? I would much rather use, at the ranges that the high impacts are good, a rapid fire scout. I feel like that's much more capable and it can extend itself even further at range. And PvE, it's kind of the same story as well. You generally want something a little bit more capable up close, or you just want to commit to, a scout rifle with explosive rounds, or even a hand cannon with explosive rounds to deal with enemies really far away. And that's why, again, the CHRYSURA just doesn't cut it. However, it's time to move on from there to the second worst weapon, and that is the IOTA DRACONIS Legendary Energy Fusion Rifle. So this belongs to the high impact frame archetype, 1000 charge time, and it's really a similar story to the previous weapon. What's holding this thing back is its archetype. The stats are completely average for its archetype. The perks are actually really darn good. Like, my roll of Under Pressure plus Cornered is an absolute PvP god roll. Cornered is really slept on. It's going to trigger if just 2 enemies are in a pretty wide proximity near you and give you a substantial increase to your charge time, which you really need with this archetype. However, the high impact frames were kind of nerfed with the start of this season. They shoot less projectiles, less bolts than the other archetypes now, and therefore the precision frame fusions and even the rapid fire fusions have really gone ahead in PvP and PvE respectively in terms of the meta, and therefore this archetype has really been left behind. But you can still, like I said, get some great rolls. You can get Under Pressure plus High Impact Reserves if you like that over Cornered. You can get Lead from Gold or Feeding Frenzy plus High Impact Reserves for a PvE roll. And in PvE, if you're using Particle Deconstruction, you can lay down a lot of damage. It's going to take a while to lay out that damage because of the slow charge time, but man, you do a lot of damage per shot. It's not a terrible weapon, but certainly its archetype just needs a little help. However, we've got to move on from there to the third worst weapon on our list, and we're definitely getting a little bit better here. It's the CANIS or CANIS Major Legendary Power Grenade Launcher. So this thing actually belongs to the rapid fire frame 150 rounds per minute archetype, and This archetype generally is going to be what you want for PvE, at least because it is capable of putting out the highest DPS at a base level. Now for PvP, grenade launchers, especially heavy grenade launchers, aren't utilized too much. Certainly some people like them. They're not terrible, but they're also not super meta. But the perks, man, the perks are where you need to pay attention. So my role, I think, is kind of the PvE god role of field prep, but you can also get clown cartridge plus Vorpal weapon. That Vorpal weapon is very important because, guys, this is actually the only heavy grenade launcher in the game that can get Vorpal weapon. Kind of surprising, I know, right? But usually they can get perks like full court or so on to increase the damage maybe, but that's nowhere near as consistent as Vorpal weapon giving you that straight 15% bonus damage when you do hit a boss or a champion or a mini boss, etc. So that certainly does matter. I think that that PvE god roll involving Vorpal weapon is something worth going after. It's just not worth using right now because fusion rifles with particle deconstruction are so far above this thing in terms of DPS. But if there's ever a heavy grenade launcher seasonal perk, you're going to want to have this thing. You can also go the PvP route and get something like, Impulse Amplifier or Surplus wouldn't be terrible combined with Chain Reaction, even Kill Clip, Adagio, even Unrelenting could be some combos, but nothing that really stands out. However, we do need to move on from there to the kind of third best weapon. We're moving on to the second half of the list, and that's going to be the WOLFTONE Draw Legendary Energy Combat Bow. Now, this belongs to the Precision Frame archetype, so a 684 base draw time, so that is the slower shooting but more precise archetype, and this thing has been raved about recently. People are calling it a must-have PvP bow, and for good reason, mainly because this thing can get Harmony, where final blows with other weapons improve the damage for this weapon, especially with a bow. That can matter quite a bit, because what you can do in PvP is get a hit with this bow, hot swap to another weapon like a hand cannon, and then usually one shot from that will finish an opponent off. And then you swap back to the bow, and now it has Harmony triggered, and it's going to hit for 182 damage to the head. So if that enemy has taken like any damage at all, it's going to be a one-shot kill. Combine that with high energy fire or noble rounds or an empowering rift or whatever other damage boost, you're going to start just one-shotting people, which is really powerful. It also has some decent PvE rolls. It can get Archer's Tempo, which is going to increase the draw time very good. It can actually also get the new Shoot to Loot perk, so you can shoot a brick from across the map and get that ammo and instantly reload all of your guns. That's pretty good as well. And instead of Harmony, you can go with something like Dragonfly or especially Frenzy. Frenzy plus Archer's Tempo would be really darn good. And with Overload bow rounds being a featured perk this season, bows matter quite a bit in the PvE meta. So yeah, this thing is actually just pretty darn good. Great rolls for both aspects of the game. However, moving on from there, we're just getting even better. The next weapon, the second best weapon, is the Vulpecula, I think. Legendary Kinetic Hand Cannon. I really enjoy this thing, and I've been using it quite a bit. It belongs to the Precision Frame 180 RPM archetype, and its stats are pretty average except for the recoil stat. Having 97 means it's going to recoil basically straight upwards, so it's really easy to control. To give you guys some perspective, the 7th Seraph Officer Revolver, which is a kinetic precision frame, that has a recoil stat of 84. So this is significantly better, and the perks are just incredible. So in that first column, you can get stuff like Killing Wind for PvP, Outlaw for both, Tunnel Vision for PvP, Shoot to Loot for PvE. In the second column, we have Opening Shot, great for PvP, Multi-Kill Clip, great for both, Explosive Payload, God tier in PvE, and then Harmony's not bad either, and it can also get, because it's a stasis weapon, Headstone, which is phenomenal in both aspects of the game because you can combine it with a bunch of synergies from your subclass for shattering stasis crystals. My role, the one that I've been using quite a bit and I've masterworked and I love, is shoot to loot plus explosive payload. Explosive payload, as I've said, is literally god tier. It gives that explosive damage infinite range, so you can pop enemies off from across the map when they're just a pixel on your screen, and shoot to loot has been actually really darn good. Being able to shoot ammo that otherwise going to get would maybe get you killed is super viable, and not to mention the reload aspect is great as well, because you instantly reload all your guns, including this, and you're going to see me do that in the background gameplay. Get low, turn to the side, shoot at some ammo, reload all your guns, and keep shooting. Really great gameplay loop. And for PvP, being able to get something like Killing Wind plus Opening Shot is going to give you some insane range for this archetype. I've heard that people who do like this archetype really do like this weapon. But moving on from there, it's the best of our list, and that is the Fractethyst Legendary Kinetic Shotgun. Although it's not kinetic, again, it's stasis. Now, this is actually a precision frame 65 rounds per minute shotgun, but it's not the slug shotgun. Although those are also called precision frames and they also shoot 65 rounds per minute, this will shoot a spread of projectiles. Guys, this is at number 1 because, first off, its PvP god roll is arguably one of, if not the best shotguns in the entire game right now. Like, yes, the sudden death is up there if you're using an arc subclass. If you're not, I think second place, or the new best shotgun to use, goes to this thing, because you can actually get full choke to tighten the spread, super important. Then you can get assault mag to increase the rate of fire, or accurized rounds for more range, and then you're getting quick draw plus opening shot. Opening shot on shotguns is a fantastic perk. But guys, this is the first time ever opening shot has been available on this archetype of shotgun, and the results are pretty amazing. With quick draw especially, you can have a fast swapping weapon, and that first shot, man, it feels really snappy and it's gonna kill at a really long way away. But for PvE, it's actually got some decent rolls as well. You're probably going for Assault Mag or an Extended Mag perk, and then instead of Quick Draw, you can go for Slide Shot to reload when you slide. You can go for Full Auto Trigger System even if you want. Lead from Gold would be very good, or even the new Ensemble perk to increase your reload quite a bit when allies are nearby. But then I think you're really going for either Trench Barrel for a massive damage increase for the next 3 shots after meleeing, or actually Harmony. Like, Harmony has kind of cemented itself. A lot of people think of it as a PvP perk, but being able to get an easy primary weapon kill, especially in PvE, you're doing that a lot, and then switch to your shotgun to finish off a major, a more powerful enemy, and get that damage boost instantaneously. You don't have to do anything once you've gotten that primary kill. That's pretty advantageous as well. I don't think this is necessarily going to be super meta in PvE, but it's rock solid. And the fact that it's literally like S++ god tier in PvP, yeah, it had to make it to the top of our list. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKackis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.